Hello everyone, this is Anita Fieries coming to you from the Blueprint Academy. Today we're going to spend a few minutes together speaking about the changes to Facebook, what you've now heard so lovingly referred to as the new timeline. I know that Facebook over the last year or two has seemed to be nothing but one change after another. It can be extremely frustrating. And many people that I speak to every day will say the same thing. I get it up and I get my social media system up and running and things are moving smoothly, then something changes and I've got to look at it again. Why do I even bother? Maybe it's not worth it. Well, if you've had that pop in your own up in your own mind, or you've even heard yourself say it, let me take a few seconds and give you a refresher on why you're on social media in the first place, specifically Facebook. Now, I know that social media in general seems to be changing all the time, and actually, if that's what you have been feeling, you're dead right. Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and about every other social media platform out there has changed more in the last during the period of 2011 than it had prior to. So it wasn't your imagination. It didn't just seem that way. It really had been changing. But what you need to understand is that with social media, this is a new phenomena on the horizon. Okay, the world's gone social, but the world's never done this before, not in this way. What that means is that we're going to be constantly learning, and things are constantly going to be changing. And every time they have a change, it will have an impact on how your social media operates, and what you had working before may or may not work and be used in the same way in the future. So, why do we bother? Well, let's look at this. Guys, as we're speaking, Facebook is inching towards its first billionth active user. A billion. There's only 4 billion in the planet. All right? 4 billion people on the planet. 1 billion of them are on Facebook every day. For me, trying to get my head around those numbers, to me, that just floors me. 1/4 of the world's population, the entire planet, is on Facebook actively every day. Hello. Now, for those of you that operate primarily within the United States, you may have realized, okay, well, you just said almost 1 billion on planet Earth. How many of those are really in the U.S., which would pertain to me, because obviously many of them probably don't speak English. I don't speak Hindi. How would this work? Well, more than 157 million active daily Facebook users within the United States. The use of Facebook, because that's what we're going to be concentrating with today, but not only Facebook, every other social media platform has not only been growing exponentially in the number of active users and the number of times it's used every day within those active users, but also it's growing exponentially in the mobile application usage. What does all that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means that now somebody could be standing in a store trying to make a decision between one product and another product, and pop onto Facebook and ask their trusted network within Facebook, hey guys, I'm standing here and can't decide which one do I go for. More than likely, there's going to be people answering in real time very quickly, because they're also on social media on mobiles. So they don't have to be sitting in front of their computer, tuned in, tapped in, turned on. All they've got to have is a phone. And the numbers that have come in recently, in the last 30 to 60 days, is that the analysts have decided that they expect mobile usage on Facebook alone to increase by 600% over the next 12 months. That's unbelievable. Bottom line, we can all boil down to this. It's not whether you're going to do social media, it's how well you do it. Because your name, your brand, whatever, is going to be on social media. Now, you get to be there to direct traffic or not. I can't put it any more directly than that. So let's take a look at these Facebook timeline changes. I got to tell you, it did take me, I'd been using the beta version of this for several months before it started getting used more widely. And in the very beginning, it drove me crazy. All right. I am a creature of habit. Believe it or not, I don't do change very well. I get to develop my love of change because I understand how it can impact all of us in a very positive way when we understand and learn to accept this type of change, because this type of change, while it does provide bumps on the road, okay, and does get a little confusing sometimes, once you get accustomed to it and you kind of always make sure to approach social media with that perspective that it's always changing, you're going to find that things just keep getting better and better. It really does. So let's look at the five most notable changes. There are a lot more than five changes, but the five biggies that I feel are important when anyone is using Facebook and they have a business perspective. Okay, or maybe you've got a political organization, a community group, somewhere where you are authentically trying to connect to a larger audience. Okay. Now, the first of these is the cover photo. The cover photo is the most notable change because when you first look at anyone who has converted to the new timeline, that's the first thing you see. There's a lot of real estate there. The entire top quarter of the page that you see is that background cover photo. And we're going to go through that in just a minute. The next one is the timeline interface. The fact that now your postings, your photos, your activities, the way they report all of that, and the way it's shown is in the form of a timeline. So and we'll look at that in just a second, what you're seeing is the current time, and it goes down till whenever, and someone can just click on it and see what you were talking about in 2009. Now here's the thing, I don't want you to freak out about this because you get to decide what is shown and what's not shown. Okay, the settings you get to pick. It's very simple, very easy, and what I absolutely love about this is when you first convert over for a while until you say, okay, I'm done, don't tell me and don't help me out anymore, it will literally walk you through every step of the way. Okay, it's meant to be user friendly. The trick is you just have to have the right attitude when you approach it. Okay, the third notable change here is the map. In the past, the map feature was something similar to this. I'm now having a cup of coffee at Starbucks on the corner of Main and State Street. I never was an advocate for that version of map and that use of map because, again, I think it's common sense. It's a safety issue. If you live in more of a metropolitan area and you have a large following and you're starting to, get out there more frequently, the map is not that helpful because there you are telling everybody and their brother that you are sitting by yourself at a Starbucks having a cup of coffee. You're asking for trouble. All you need is one nutcase to come along and you've got a situation on your hand. So that's always been my opinion on that, and I don't see a need to change it. The beautiful thing is somebody else must have been thinking, there must have been a lot of individuals like me that were not using the map part at all. They completely changed it. Now the map is and can be the entire globe. It's the map of the whole world. And when you let me give you an example. If you have a life event that you post on there, okay, and you tag it as a life event, the questions that they ask about it asks where it was, and maybe it was. Let me give you an example on this one, a very specific example. On my own, my husband and I in July went on a second honeymoon. Okay, and we went to a specific resort, the Casa Magna in Cancun, because that's where we had gone for our first honeymoon. And 15 years later, we're going back for a second honeymoon. Anyway, you had pictures we're putting up there, just all sorts. We had a great time. So I've got all this. I'm putting it on Facebook. And now when you click on map, you will see a Cancun, like a little push pin on there, and it'll be at Cancun, Mexico. And when you click on it, it says where we were, and then you can like see all the pictures and see what it was about. It's great. Or if you are on a business trip and you take a picture of a colleague there, and maybe this business trip is out in San Diego and you live in Charlotte, North Carolina. You click on that and you can see. And so whenever someone clicks, they can see where you've been and where you've traveled. It doesn't have, if you've never traveled out of the country, it's no big deal. Your map that will show will be the region that you've been to. Okay, and it's just another way to kind of show the evidence of whatever you're doing. Okay, so that map function has a lot of untapped potential, and there's a lot of real estate there on that map, so it's a beautiful thing. The fourth are photos and friends. Absolutely adore the photo and friends. The friends section now, you can get to it easy. You can more easily. You can organize the friends list much easier. And it's more user-friendly with how you interact and tag people and everything to do with your friends. The subgroupings, all of that. The photos, just within the last week, the photos have made another change where when you upload a photo, you can put the caption, and the full photo shows on the computer screen when anyone clicks on the photo, and all the comments and the likes and all of that are off to the right hand side of the picture instead of below it, because below you'd have to scroll, and of course the photo leaves your view while you're reading the comments. Now you can stay on the same screen, you're not moving, and there are the comments and anything going on about that photo right next to it, all within the same frame of reference. It's great. And that brings us to last but not least, and this, by the way, is my absolute most favorite change to Facebook: the addition of subscribers for personal profiles. As you already know, the Facebook timeline affects our personal profile. You as the person. This does not impact the look or the feel of your business page. Okay, so you now may be saying, okay, Anita, so what's the big deal? Let me tell you what the big deal is. The big deal here is that in the past, your personal profile, there were issues, and it was constant conversation around, look, I don't want to use my personal profile to let these people know more about me. I use it to keep track with my kids are in college 4 states away, or my sister who lives halfway across the country, or to keep track of my cousins, or, that type of thing. Well, with a combination of how the friend groupings work and your lists within those that you are connected to on Facebook, and this subscribers feature, which that all allows your public posts. When you post something on Facebook, you get to choose who gets to see it. Your public postings go to not only all of your friends, but also to the subscribers. Now, here's where the real kicker is. I don't know if you know this or not, but Facebook in the past has only allowed 5,000 friends. It was the 5,000 friend rule. In reality, it was much more strict than 5,000 friends, because how it worked, if you had right about 4,800 plus, and sometimes it was 4,820, some 4,850. It really kind of depended. It would not only slow down your friend requests people would send to you and you being able to accept them or send them a friend request. What happened was it also slowed down your ability to how many likes. So if you saw a page and wanted to like it to get a free offer that they had, you couldn't do it. You were locked up. And it really hindered moving. So it was this big problem around that whole thing. And if you were like me, as well as many other public figures, speakers, coaches, authors, whatever, you ended up creating a fan page, because 5,000 people wasn't enough. So because people were constantly, there were times I'd have 200, 300, 400 people in queue, and I couldn't do anything because I was locked down. And it's very time consuming when you get that big to start pruning people out, It's just because there's only 5,000 seats in that auditorium in your personal world. So once subscribers kicked in, what that means is someone can find you on Facebook and subscribe to your posts. What that means is whenever you post a public post, they get to see it on their home page in that news feed. Yet, whatever they're saying and doing is not filling up your news feed. Now, if you had a personal fan page, just because that 5,000 limit, you don't have to. You can combine them. You can now use your Facebook public profile to cover both your public persona and of course your public branding and all of that, as well as communicate real material to your family. Isn't that great? I love it. I absolutely love that. Now, what you're seeing in front of you, this is kind of an old one now, but is my profile, my timeline on Facebook. Okay, and let's see. I'm taking a look here. All right, let's cover this. The cover photo. If you see the cursor, that's the piece you see right back there. Okay. That can be anything you want. Now, Facebook does ask that you not get spammy and have, contact me at www.getricheverysecond.com. That just, frankly, I wouldn't do it anyway because it's tacky. Right? It's not in line with what we call the new relationship marketing or authentically connecting with people. Any of that type, the way that marketing and business occurs today, it doesn't work. Okay, and one of the things I haven't spent time on today, because it's not what the subject of this conversation is about, but I need to mention it, is using used car salesman techniques. Okay, spamming, banging people over the head, only posting the same thing over and over and over again, not only doesn't work, it will make people turn you off and report you so fast it'll make your head spin. Okay, remember, social media is just that. So what's the first word? Social. And social means certain etiquette rules apply. Don't be a pain in the butt. Don't be a pest. Okay? But with that said, have at it. Then, of course, you have your photo, your icon photo right there. It's beautiful. There are tons of software apps. You can get as creative as you want. I have the picture that I have on there because, frankly, I help coach solopreneurs, coaches, online existing business owners to be able to reach a larger audience with less time by using social media. And the proof is in the pudding. Well, that is the best seat in my office. Right there, I'm sitting in my Adirondack chair on the deck, okay, running my business. So that's how that leads in. Matter of fact, I think if you look in the bottom corner, you'll even see my rainbow flip-flops over there where I was watering a plant. Now, off to the right, you're going to see that where it says now, January, December. It goes all the way down to when I was born. That is the timeline. So if this was not a screenshot, but we were live on Facebook and I were to click on any of these, it would show what I had posted at that time. And then, of course, you've got friends that show up right here. They also show up here, so you can see at that point I'm down to, and I try to keep mine at 4,800 just so I can move with Facebook. But, we're right here. These are photos, all my photos, and they're grouped in albums. There's the subscribers, the maps, and underneath here, which you can't see, is the interests. That's all still there. Right here below is the status. That's where you type in your post. If you notice here, I love how they did this. There's your name, and then it tells what you do, where you studied, where you live, and who you're married to, the usual things. Any more in that about section that you would have is all you do is click this link. If it's blue, it's a link. Okay, so this is a wonderful thing. Now, if you were live, you would also see right about where this little drop down arrow here is. There's a little bar that just constantly streams. Think of like the API ticker in the news media used to be way back in the day. It just keeps feeding through what's going on live. And those are the posts that are going on from friends that you've connected with. Okay. Now, for my purposes, I hid them. And I do recommend that you do that for the first few days if that constant motion on your one page here is starting to give you a headache like it did me, I shrink it back, and it was just happened to be shrunk back when I took this photo. But now I'm so accustomed to it, I have it going live, and I'm telling you guys, it's worth the effort. That page, okay? It's really, really that simple. I hope you've found this useful and it's kind of walked you through and gotten you a little less concerned or afraid about the new timeline that's coming down very soon to a Facebook account near you, and your own probably. And if you'd like to receive tools, tips, and techniques and insights designed for the existing business owner who is new to social media and doesn't want to spend all day to do it, but does want to harness the power of the social web to increase their profits and make more money, join our community on Facebook. Simply go to facebook.com/Blueprint Academy. Like the page, see what we offer as a free giveaway, and we're off to the races. My name's Anita Fioris. I want to thank you for joining me for this few minutes as we talked about Facebook, the new changes, the timeline. Bye-bye for now, everyone.